Want to learn more about YouTube and growing your channel? Subscribe now. Want to learn more about YouTube and growing your channel? Subscribe now. TVR creators, the TVR universe, that is you. I'm Dave from TVR Creators. Welcome to this week's show. We've got lots and lots of value here tonight, here in the studio. We've been looking at lots of great deals for you to look at this Christmas. Some great bits of gear that you may want to buy for your channel. Some stuff you may be thinking about, you're not quite sure which one to go. We will answer all those questions and so much more. I just want to say thank you again for joining us, and do not go anywhere because we've got lots of value. You're going to get value from this video. Alright, so if you're only just joining us, I'm Dave from TVR Creators. I bring you weekly YouTube tips to help you build your brand. If that sounds interesting to you, subscribe now. So here today, I just want to say, before we get started, I just want to run by a few things with you guys before we get into the heat of how awesome it is. Let's start this with hashtag #DrinkWaterDave. There we are. There we go. I'm on a different computer tonight, so there you go. Anyway, so I just want to say happy Diwali for the next couple of days. I know it's mainly tomorrow, but I know it does run for a few days. So to you guys, happy Diwali. I just want to say, for those of you content creators, you hardcore content creators, there's a few updates have happened. One I've just literally noticed actually is, if you're using YouTube on your phone and you're logged into your channel, you may notice at the top of your channel, you can now marriage your channel and your videos. I'll be brutally honest, I can't go into much more detail on that at the moment because I've only literally just seen it, so they must have literally just done it today. But as soon as I can, I'll give updates over on my Facebook group page. And if you're not there already, check out in the descriptions below after this video where you can join us on our Facebook creators community page, where you can share your videos, your content, and so much more. Now, if you'd like to support the brand, the growing brand that is TVR Creators, check out our merch, get value, and the link is in the description again. Check it out as you watch this video or whenever, and you can, get a mug or a t-shirt, and just a little thank you sort of thing. But ultimately, to really get value and to share and ultimately to support the brand just by watching, that is a massive thank you to you guys. So let's crack on with some awesome content. Alright, so if you enjoyed this, I'm Dave from TVR Creators. Now let's crack on with hashtag get on with it Dave. Hello, let's just have a look. I just want to have a look now. I don't know what I'm there for. Right, hashtag #DrinkWaterDave. Right, let's crack on. Right, I want to give you guys absolute value today then. So you're probably thinking, oh, here we go. But you may have also seen, as I've been sharing over on the Facebook page, that the Canon M50 Mark II is out over on Canon. You may not be able to get it everywhere, but just check it out. But what this means for us content creators, and for me, I think it's a bigger shout, is that you can now get better deals on the M50. And that is something that you'll see more of over Christmas, and obviously it's going to be the Black Friday day / week on Amazon in a week or so. I believe it starts the 27th of November. Please feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, but it's about the end of November, and you'll be able to get even more greater deals, but there are some deals now. So looking at the Canon M50 then, as you can see, it's still a little bit over 600, but it's a brilliant camera. And obviously, those of you know a little bit of cameras, but if you don't, for a full-blown professional camera or a camera that just gives you everything, you're talking way over £1,000. So if you don't want to spend that, because let's face it, that's a lot of money, the Canon M50 is a brilliant camera to start you off. And a lot of content creators use it. I've got it. I haven't got it on me. It's over there. But it's a brilliant camera. And I know I talk about this a lot, but it really is an amazing camera. And what I love about the Canon M50 it's just, I love everything about it. The kit lens that comes with it, I believe is 15 to 45, and it's just brilliant because even in low light, because of its sensor, it picks up light even in sort of darkened conditions. So you know, if you haven't got like the best lights in the world, it films brilliant. So if any of you are looking for, you know, a half decent camera or a really good camera, more specifically, I cannot recommend this some more. And if you're thinking, okay, where's the deal in that? Well, there are 3 deals at the moment. So if we just look at this, there is a very good one, a like new apparently. And if it was me personally, it's a lot of money. I would probably just pay it outright on the Amazon. But you know, you can save yourself a couple hundred here. And let's save ourselves about 100. I would probably go with the like new, just because the very good. But saying that, you could get a very good deal there. Bear in mind, you're saving yourself 200 quid. You've got to remember, this supplier has a 98 positive feedback. So that's pretty good, 5 stars. So that's pretty trustworthy. You've got you know, a small delivery charge there, but very good for under 500 quid for Canon M50. That is a brilliant deal. So you know, that is you know, for a lot of you and for all of us, that is far less than what over 600. So you're saving yourself 200 quid. I would probably go with that. If you want to be maybe an extra bit, you know, you get free delivery, pay a bit more. The used but light new, that should be pretty much like a new camera for an extra 100 quid. And obviously, if you just want to, but you know what, I don't care about that, I just want to go full blown, then obviously just buy it from there. I would just check briefly though. Yeah, that's all 5 stars. I'd probably go that. Obviously, Amazon have it there as well. They are the 15 to 45 lens, blah blah blah. If you want to pay a bit extra. Now, something I'd recommend if you do go with that camera, or any camera that you get, I would highly recommend getting yourself a couple of spare batteries if you're doing photography or film. And I'll talk about another camera that I haven't got yet myself, but I keep going on about a camera I'm going to mention briefly in a moment. I would highly recommend getting yourself a couple of spare batteries for whatever camera you got, because I find when you're out and about, maybe on a day trip, or you're out with family and friends, you know, you will see, you know, the battery, you know, I personally found it's fine. I've found in the M50 it's fine, but it's just good to have that extra battery. You know, if you're someone that perhaps leave the camera on a lot, or, you know, you're taking lots of pictures, or you're doing lots of film, you know, it's just good to have a second battery. And even if you're doing filming indoors, sometimes, you know, it's just easier to have that second battery, especially if you're moving around your house or wherever you're filming. But to say that, I'm not going to say the battery lasts 2 minutes, because I've done lots of, you know, I've made like 2-3 videos in one day on one battery and it's been fine. But personally, I have about 3 batteries for my M50, and I would highly recommend that. This thing, actually, I haven't got one of these, so I'm not going to overly talk about it, but I do find these little frames, what do they call it, cage, you know, are highly something I'd recommend, because with this, you can hold it, you know, if you've got like massive hands. I'm not going to make out my hands are the biggest in the world. But I will say one of these little cages, frames, whatever you call it, let's just call it a cage, make them happy, is brilliant for attaching microphones. If you want a microphone on the side, you can see here, you can attach things on the side. Maybe if you want to put a bigger light on the top, you've got a nice grip. And the reason I say that is I love the M50, but for some people it might be just a tad too small, and maybe having the cage with a grip on the side may just make the camera feel a bit bigger, so you don't feel like you're going to drop it. And if you do drop it, I believe the cage will protect the camera a little bit. I'm not going to say like it's going to protect it from it, you know, if you're someone who drops cameras, but in the nicest possible way. If you spend 400, 500, 600 on a camera, I would make sure you've got your camera strap on, and that sounds wrong, and just don't drop your camera. I must admit, I don't make a habit of dropping my camera on the floor, if I'm brutally honest. There's a Susie. Oh, blimey now. Hello, let's do a brief shout out. Hello, Brad, welcome. Hello, Perry. Hello, Shadow Princess, and hello, Sam. Thank you for joining us. Well, anyone else flipping? Now, you're all here. Wow. You're here live to get some value. So yeah, I would definitely recommend a little controller. If you just joined us, if you literally just joined us, I'm Dave from TVR Creators, and I will bring you weekly value to help you build your brands here on YouTube. If that sounds interesting, subscribe now. And if you're getting value from this video, give it a like. If you've done so already, tell one around you to watch this video and tell them to give it a like as well. And if you watch this video, you are part of the TVR universe. Remember that. You guys are awesome. Anyway, let's crack on. We've got lots to get through, some great value. Would I get a controller? Probably, for any camera. I don't want to just sit on the M50. I want to look. I promised you a good photo camera. Now, just before we carry on, I don't want to say that you have to have a camera, because I truly do feel, and I mean this honestly, that your number one tool is your phone. Do you like my new case? Awesome, isn't it? Amazon, about tenner. That's no link there, that was just me being me. Anyway, so I would ultimately say that your number one tool is your phone on every way. If you've not downloaded it already, get the YouTube download, YouTube Studio app. I can't talk tonight. The YouTube Studio app, and it's just brilliant. It's just so good. If you've used it already, you'll be sitting there nodding your head, go, yes, Dave, it's an amazing app. But if you haven't, download it. It's awesome, because ultimately you can upload. You can upload video technically, but more importantly, you can respond to comments quicker. You can see the performance of a video. You can quickly see, compare it with other videos of how much, interaction you've had with comments and likes, that sort of thing. You can see what views you're getting on your channel overall. It's just a really good app. You can change like titles and descriptions of videos if you're not quite happy with a video. I do that all the time. Sometimes I just change the title and think, actually, if I just modify my title, I'll talk about that in other videos and later videos more. But you get the idea. So it's a brilliant app to get. But anyway, if you're looking for a brilliant camera, and let's see what deals there are for that. There's a little bit of a saviour there. I'd probably go with a brand new. But that is brilliant value for just short of 400. You can get a fantastic photo camera. And you're probably thinking, I've got my phone. You have got your phone. If I'm brutally honest, out of the three phones, out of iPhone, Samsung and the Google Pixels, I personally have seen people take the best pictures on a Google Pixel. So if you've got a Google phone, you probably take the best pictures. But not saying that Samsung iPhone don't take good pictures, because they do. But I personally just think the Google phone takes the best. But if you want a pure camera, you're probably thinking, why do I need this? Well, I would say that the Canon M100 is a brilliant photography camera. It has the same lens as the M50, which is a fantastic lens. I can't talk about that enough. I love it. You can interchange it, so you could put a few of the different lenses on. But more importantly, it's just a little bit smaller. It probably fits in a bag better. And I would use it possibly for thumbnails, because I sometimes find, if I'm brutally honest, if I'm taking pictures on my phone, you can't always use the best camera, because obviously that's sort of front facing, if that makes sense. So you tend to use your selfie camera, which on most phones is not as good as your front camera. Anyway, you get the idea. So, and I find that sometimes just having a designated camera for doing thumbnails is not something you have to do, but something you might want to think about. I use my M50 for mine, just because I love my M50. Because obviously you are talking under 400 quid. But if you want to really up your game and you just want a designated camera for thumbnails, or just if you're out and about, behind the scenes as a content creator, if you're on day trips, you might be like, you know what, let's just take the M100. It's separate from your phone, so when you're taking pictures, you're not getting pestered by social media. And another thing I believe a lot of these cameras do, you can connect on most cameras that you get, regardless of what new camera you get, you can connect it to your phone, so you can have the amazing lens, and then you can wirelessly just send the picture, and then you can post it to your social media, you know, whatever you're using, Instagram, Twitter, etc. And that's a cool feature that a lot of content creators will appreciate and value. Let's see what's going on. Thank you, mate. I appreciate, Perry. I've got a surprise for you in a few weeks, but you have to wait a week or so. Sorry, but you'll see it. So I would highly recommend getting that. Do you need headphones? I'm not going to look at that. This sounds a bit weird, but no, it's not actually. If you want to buy a new camera, do you go for black or white? Random question. Random question of the day then. If you're going to buy a new camera, do you get a black one or a white one? Random question. Let's see if any of it's came up. That's a bit of a random question. Like the right. Yeah, damn right. Been working. Thank you, mate. Okay, let's look at. Oh yeah, I would highly recommend actually one of these lens adapters. There doesn't seem to be any obvious deals there, but that doesn't matter. It's 30 quid. And what I like about these is you can connect it, if you've got the M50 for example, or possibly even the M100, you can connect it onto your M50 or your mirrorless camera, because they tend to be smaller and they have smaller lenses. They're just as good, but they are smaller. And what this adapter allows you to do, if you've got an older lens, say for example I've got my 1300D, which is about the size of a normal SLR, which most of you would be familiar with, and by putting the adapter on, I can then connect my. I was trying to see if there's an example, but it'll take too long to find. So if you connect that adapter onto your mirrorless camera, you can then put an older lens. For example, I've got a 300mm. I could connect my 300mm onto my M50, and there straight away I've got a 300mm lens. And I don't have to buy another camera or blah blah blah, or buying a lens, because I've got that in my arsenal. So that's something to bear in mind. It might be something you want. I'm not saying you have to do that. I'm just saying it might be something you want to think about. And now I know I've talked about this before, but I'm going to look at lighting again, because let's just see what deals are around. Let's see what lighting we get. I'm not going to highly recommend these, because these are quite expensive, but these these lights are pretty good. I mean, for 130 quid they should be. But what I like about these sort of things is you can change what's known as the light temperature of the light. It basically just means you can make it dimmer, because you probably find if any of you have spotlights, I've got one now behind the camera, and sometimes they can be really bright, especially if it's pointing at you. And if you've got one or two of them, it can be a bit like flipping out, because unless you're in a massive studio. And even then, for those of you, and I know one or two you've done it with me, when you've been on the stage back in the day and you got all those floodlights flooding on your face, they can be quite powerful. So anyways, what's quite good about these is they just project a softer light. But obviously they cost more, so just bear that in mind. And I believe on some of them, you'd have to check it out, we won't go into too much detail now, but you can actually change the colour of some of them as well, so that's something to bear in mind. But personally, I would recommend, which I have done with a couple of you I believe, on the sort of behind the scenes, and Triple H is getting involved, just the same. So let's put film light, see what comes up. Oh, it's getting well scared now, making me look like an idiot. Yeah, here we go. Well, that's gone up. So that's gone up. But there's loads there. Let's see if we can find a cheaper one. That's quite cool. 100 quid. Oh, I'm looking stupid now. Here we go. This is what I'd highly recommend. Sorry, guys, we got there eventually. I would still highly recommend, for £60, a pair of two. Highly recommend. And I know, I think you did, Perry, didn't you? You got yourself one of these. And if you haven't, I would highly recommend getting yourself one of these, because they're just a nice light. They give a much more natural light compared to using your house light or whatever. And they can be quite bright. And what I would highly recommend with them, if you haven't watched a video about it, I do have a video about lighting, to check it out after this video. But what I would highly recommend, just briefly, is if you've got a white wall or a bright wall, if you reflect the light off that, it makes the light softer again. Especially if you, like me, you wear glasses, it just you don't get as much reflection in your lenses and that sort of thing, so it just looks more professional. So bear that in mind. But a couple of these, and I'll tell you what, the bulbs on it, or as my old theatre friend would say, lamps. He used to shoot me back in the day for not saying that. I'm not on about you, Perry. I'm on about when I was at theatre back in the day. Anyway, so what these are awesome, and they give a really natural light. And if you need to get, I must admit, I've got 2 of these, and fingers crossed it doesn't go. It just be my luck. They'll end up going, but they seem to last a while. I've had mine now for, I don't know, it must be about a year or so, and I'm still on my first one. And I've got another one in the cupboard because I only use one of them. Because my room's it's not the biggest room in the world here in the studio, and I find one's fine, but you might want to use 2 or 3, and that's fine as well. But I do believe these are roughly about 20 quid to replace, so it might be cheaper just to buy the whole thing again. But anyway, so that is great. So is there any deals on that? Can we see any details like new? No. Now, just out of interest, then let's bomb over to eBay, as I've technically put that in the title as well. And oh no, that's getting all confused now, isn't it? And let's just put film lighting, and let's just see what comes up. If you're getting value from this video, don't forget to give it a like. Get value. Oh dear, I wouldn't bother with these filters. I know that sounds harsh. That's very expensive for that. I've got itchy face. Wearing a mask all day at work, it makes your face feel itchy. I would find that I wouldn't, because if you're going to do any filming or any video that requires a certain colour, you can edit it quite easily in post, or when you're editing Suite, or on your phone, or however you edit your videos, so you don't really need to bother them, if I'm brutally honest. I'm seeing if we've got what we've got, but for cheaper, just out of interest. There's those ones, that's 300, wow. That could be interesting. I personally wouldn't get that, but it could be alright. Well, this is making me look foolish, isn't it? Go on, give us a like if you're getting value from this video. I can't find it. That's really annoying. Oh dear. Anyway.
Want to learn more about YouTube and growing your channel? Subscribe now!
So, if you just joined us, I'm Dave from TVR Creators, and I bring you weekly value to help you build your brand here on YouTube. If that sounds interesting to you, subscribe now. If you're getting value from this video, then please give it a like, because you guys ultimately rock. So if you only just joined us then, I'm here back, and I'm today giving you value. I'm just going to have a brief look to see if I've forgotten what I want to show you. And we're just looking at random deals. And bear in mind, it's Black Friday just around the corner. But you might want to look at a few things that you might want to keep an eye on. Like cameras and lighting and microphones and stuff like that. And talking of which, I've got microphones up now. So if you want to start your own podcast, your own live streams, whatever you want to call it, I would highly recommend one of these microphones. They are brilliant little microphones. And I did recommend somebody one of these just because they're a bit cheaper. And personally, I find with a microphone, feel free to comment in the comments. Wow. Awesome. Thank you, Perry. I would highly recommend just trying out one of these, just because even though they're only 30 quid, I find with a half decent microphone, if you only have it, I don't know if you can see it, please let me know if this is distracting. I just want to put it in shock, thought it'd be cool. I don't know if you can see that. If you can see it, yeah, you can just sort of see it there on the screen, see it here. And I use the Zoom H1N dictaphone, and it is a brilliant little microphone. And if you're getting value from the audio, give it a like. You probably liked it already. It's a shame you can't do multiple likes, isn't it? But I think it's a brilliant dictaphone. It's great for recording sound. It's great as a live stream microphone. It does cost about £100. But if you don't want to spend that sort of money, I would highly recommend just going for something like this and just try it out and see how it goes. Because being brutally honest, you probably ain't going to notice much difference. I don't think. Because you've got to remember that a lot of people watching your videos 78% of people that watch your videos will be watching it on their phone, and in the nicest possible way. Phones don't have the greatest speakers in the world unless they've got headphones, but I assume most people don't do that. But most people just watch videos, on their phone normally, and the sound quality is sort of average. So the microphone, if you've got a good microphone, it does highly improve the audio, and I'd highly recommend that. But I won't worry too much about spending hundreds of pounds on a mic, because most people probably aren't going to tell the difference as long as you've got at least a decent microphone. And you're sort of, about a foot away from the mic. So if you're trying to think, if you're doing head videos like my weekly Tuesday videos and stuff like that, if you're doing, filming, if you do music videos, whatever it is that you're doing, just trying to remember to keep the microphone about a foot away, and that should give you the best quality. And experiment. You may find your microphone's better slightly closer, slightly further away. Some microphones have different settings on. I know on my dictaphone I have like a setting, so the further away my mic is, I can sort of oomph the sound quality. And I've talked about before actually in shotgun microphones that you connect on top of a camera. We'll get to in a second. They sometimes have settings as well, which they just ump up the volume so they capture more sound. But bear in mind, in a very still environment, sometimes that gives you background noise, so just bear that in mind as well. And definitely filming outside, it goes without saying that you have a wind cutter, basically just foam on the camera, which most of them come with anyway. But we'll get back, but this is obviously about deal, so we're going off track, but I just thought that was interesting. If we look at let's see if it calls it this actually. Shotgun mic, let's look at that, and I would highly, that looks pretty awesome. Look at that for 25 quid. I have been keeping my eye on things like this, just because, why not? They're supposed to be very good. A lot of content creators, some of you may already have one of these, uses this, and they highly they shout and scream how good they are, and you hear about a lot of content creators using them, so they must be good. I personally haven't bothered. That sounds really bad, doesn't it? Not because I don't want to give you value, because I'm all about value, but I've just found, I'll show you what I've got actually, sort of similar to that, but it's a bit more basic than that actually. It's basically something just like that, but it only cost me 20 quid. I'll see if I can find it. It's not here. There we go. That's literally what I've got. I've got about 2 of them now, and if you can, this one's here. I would highly recommend this, even though it's only got 3.5 stars, which makes it look a bit laggy. But trust me, if you watch any of my weekly YouTube videos, which I'm sure you do, I use a lot of the videos. I use one of these, especially if I'm moving around. I just connect it to the front of the camera, and the sound quality is great. And it just have this little dial tone where I can ump the volume up a little bit, and it just holds a single AA battery. And I just find one thing I will bear in mind is some microphones have like weird batteries, and sometimes I just find it a bit of a diver to try and work out what battery to take. But if you know it's just AA, it's just simpler, isn't it? I personally find if you don't care about that and you're more than happy to mess about batteries, that's fine as well. But I just find it's a great little microphone, and it tends to last about 10-15 videos before the battery starts going. And a little technique I find is take the battery out, and then when you go to film, put it back in again, so it doesn't like use up a little bit of energy while it's sat there, or the battery doesn't, I don't know, go funny, or whatever. That's just a little tip that solving the problem for you guys, solving the problem. So if you're getting value from this video, like in the live comments, as you probably liked the video multiple times already. But I would highly recommend one of these microphones. I don't think you really need a deal on 20 quid. I think that's great value, if I'm honest, value for money. So this is what we're all about here. Now I know it only got 3.5 stars, but personally, I have used that, and it is brilliant. Now if you want even more value, let's solve a problem now. I may have talked about this before, but let's do it again for those of you that, if this is your first time here. If this is your first time here, welcome to the TBR universe. I'm Dave from TBR Creators, and I make weekly YouTube tips to help you build your brand. If that sounds interesting to you, subscribe now. So if we're going to look at, let's just put mic. And you're probably thinking, what are you doing, Dave? I'll just call them clip-ons. boom, boom, boom. I would hide. I know if any of you, for those of you, sorry, that are on the Facebook group panel. I've really overcomplex that title, but basically the YouTube creators community page that I've now created on YouTube, Facebook. Go and check it out, and I give little tips on gear and stuff like that. And it's also where you can share your videos, and which I know some of you have been, and that's awesome. I've already, I've only had it for about 2 or 3 weeks or whatever it is, and it's already seems to be giving people value, and people posting their videos and connecting with each other. It's just a really nice little community that I plan to grow and encourage to grow more. Anyway, so this is the brilliant little thing I would go with. I would something like this, and literally for £10 to improve your audio. Now if you're a content creator that's literally only using your phone, or if you've got a camera or thinking about getting a camera, I actually use this for the bulk of my videos now. £10 to massively improve your audio. And you've got to remember, audio is 50% of any of your videos, no matter what you're making. And if you've got naff audio, if this suddenly went rubbish and sounded like the microphone was 10 miles away, most of you'd be like, what, can I hear you? I'm gonna go to a new video. And that's just how the world works. So if you've got good audio, even if the video doesn't look great, which sometimes if I haven't got the lighting right on these live streams, sometimes it doesn't always, I find that people will forgive you more if you've got good audio, is basically what I'm getting at. Anyway, I would highly recommend one of these for £10 just under, free delivery. You can't get better than that, the value. And what's even better about this one, I might even get one of these myself. I've got one myself, but not this particular one. What was really cool about this, it actually has the adapter. So if you haven't got, because it plugs in there, you see, so if you haven't got the right adapter, it's got an adapter depending on what you're using it for, because certain phones, they like either the 2-piece pin or the 3-piece depending on what device you're using it on. And I find that most cameras prefer the 3, but you can tinker and you'll soon know because you have no audio. So do a demo, and every time I do filming I always tend to do like a demo. Hello, I'm Dave. Oh yeah, let's do hashtag drink water Dave. Value. I need to get a mug, don't I? Which I have ordered some actually. Get value. Anyway, so this is the thing. Great if you really want to prove your audio. £10, that's brilliant value. That is a brilliant deal. Oh look, it says here early Black Friday deals starting the 20th of October, 19th of November. That's days away. I would buy that now. I wouldn't even wait. For under £10, you're massively improving your audio. I know I keep going on about it, but after this video, I would buy one. I'll just buy one. If you're using your phone or camera, if you haven't already get one. And then what I would then recommend, actually, and we'll go into that in a second, is get yourself a tripod. And this will be your number one friend. After your number one ultimate friend, which we talked about earlier, your phone, I would highly recommend a tripod. And what I would get is maybe something like that as a backup. To put your microphone on, but personally I'll try and find one that was a bit taller than that. What's 42 inches in centimeters? I'm not really good with maths, but yeah. That's pretty good. Now I want to go with that. I think that is brilliant. But basically you want something like this. And this is something I've recommended to a few people. You basically want a cheap tripod, especially if you're just starting out, you don't want to spend wages. For £20. This comes with a nice little bag, a little attachment for your phone, and that's just brilliant. So for most of you using your phones, that's a brilliant gadget to start with. And for those of you, and I know there's at least one or two, I know you Sam, you've just started your YouTube channel, go and check it out. And what I would highly recommend actually, for anyone starting YouTube or just video making in general, I would highly recommend getting yourself one of these tripods. I've recommended these to a couple of people and they are brilliant. They're just cheap and cheerful. £20, can't go wrong. I wouldn't even bother looking for deals. 20 quid, you're improving your audio. So for £30, if I've got my maths right, yeah, I have to think about how bad's that. Hashtag drink water Dave. Value. So for £30 then, you're going to up your audio with a clip-on microphone that you can attach to another tripod, but that's later down, right? Or you can attach it to yourself and just have it, talking to yourself. That's the whole point of it, really. And then get yourself one of these awesome tripods that have a phone adapter where you can attach your phone, and that's just a brilliant way to start. And that's probably all you need to begin with. You know, a nice little clip-on microphone and one of these tripods. You've got your phone, so that'll be your camera, and that could be your setup for your first 6 months or your first year. And then obviously later on you might want to get you know, light and stuff like that. So if you're getting value from this video, give a like. I will be back in a moment.
Want to learn more about YouTube and growing your channel? Subscribe now.
Alright, so if you're only just joined us, I'm Dave from the TVR Creators, and I help you build your brand here on YouTube. I make weekly videos that do just that, and if that sounds interesting to you, subscribe now. And I tell you what, you guys absolute rock. You guys are awesome. I can't tell you how awesome you guys are. You just are. Let's just have a brief look who's in the comment section. It looks cool. Awesome, awesome. Thank you, mate. I appreciate the feedback. We've got some awesome value going on here today. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Alright, 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 alright. I don't know where that came from, but yeah. Yeah, so I'd highly recommend one of these. If don't go anywhere actually, because in the after show I will take your questions, which we'll probably do in a moment actually. And just before we go into that, I just want to briefly think. If you are one, then you can hint to your family and friends. You're probably thinking, what? I'll explain in a second. But if you know a content creator, I'm about to give you a few little things that you can think about as little gifts. Now, as silly as it sounds, I've actually done this before. You could buy, if you've got a content creator friend, or you could hint this to family and friends for Christmas. This is what it's all about. It's Christmas just around the corner. And without going into too much detail, it has been the most made up year for all of us, hasn't it just? But one of these little tripods would be a nice little Christmas present, especially if they're serious about YouTube. They'd be like, thanks, man. And I have done that. Something else you might want to get as just a pretend present is a SD card. I don't know why I put that in there for. Get a micro SD, but obviously you just want a normal SD. And what I would go with actually, if you're using a camera, you know, a proper camera, and I would say one of these Extreme Pros would be what you want. You could get a normal one, but I wouldn't. These are pretty good. The Ultra 90 frames per second, but I would go for the best you could get. Now just bear in mind, just perhaps look over your camera settings, because some cameras are a bit funny about what SD cards they take, but you should be able to have either one or the other. If you was unsure, for safety, maybe just go with that one plus for £6. And this could be like a little present for one of your content creator friends. So, you know, you got your main present and maybe just a little silly present, oh, an extra SD card. Because as a content creator, you will, and the more serious you become and the more you do it, you will appreciate and value these little silly things that we don't talk about. You know, things like SD cards, things like lens caps, little cheap microphones, you know, like that clip-on one. And maybe someone hinted to me today about what about like a little hard drive. We'll look at them in a second. Let's see what they've got. So I'd highly recommend, you know, as a Christmas present for one of your content creator friends, something like this might be just a little side present. You could get let's see if I put this in right. As you probably gathered, my brain's not with it tonight for some reason. Right, I'm just gonna that's got scared over that, so I'm just gonna put a hard drive. Right, let's see what we got. 40 quid. How big's that? 1 gigabyte. Can you get less than that? I do like CGATs, or whatever you call it. But my one I had for my Xbox died, so it put me off a little bit. But they're still a good brand. I personally go with Philips at the minute, and they've been absolutely brilliant. So I would recommend Philips at the moment. But look at that. That's a cool little present. So it's literally just a 250 gigabyte, tiny. And it's just a little, it can be used for Xbox, Windows, Oh yeah, make sure it's USB free because that's for faster transfer. And as you can see here in the picture, this is probably the best way to show it. And this, for any of you actually that you want to get into editing on your laptop or your computer, I would highly recommend as a Christmas present to yourself or to one of your content friends, just one of these little portable hard drives, because they're brilliant. I actually I'm working off one now actually tonight, and I find they're brilliant because you can almost work on the move. So I don't know, if you're going to family's house and you don't want to take a whole laptop with you, you could just take your drive and just plug it in their computer. You could just do a bit of design work, maybe work on a thumbnail, maybe edit on, take your laptop with you. You can edit while you're out and about. I don't know, depending on how your life works, but it's just brilliant. And also, I find that if you have one of these static drives, if your computer goes, it's just more, you think, oh, okay, I'll just get, I've got a laptop, I'll just work off that, or that sort of thing. And you could say, okay, what happens if these goes? But that's unfortunate. That's why you back up your video if you can. I'll be honest, my weekly videos I've not backed up as much as I should, probably because once I've posted them, I'm sort of like, the value's there. But anyway, this would be a great present. But just look at the views, make sure they're about 5 stars mostly. And if you don't get it from Amazon, you get it directly from elsewhere on eBay or Amazon on Marketplace. Just make sure they've got at least 95% positive feedback. I know that sounds obvious, but it's amazing how it's easy a thing to forget. And I'd highly recommend doing that, just because you don't want to get a naff gadget or something that's damaged and stuff like that. So just bear that in mind. But this is a cool little gadget. I don't know what other little things you could get. I call them flash drives. Just a silly little present. This is another little thing you can get as a joke. I find these are brilliant. I must admit, I haven't used any of mine as much recently, but these are still brilliant little gadgets. Basically the modern version of floppy disk, and those of you who really know me know how much I love floppy disks. And but these are great gadgets if you want to move data around. As a content creator, I'm sure you all use these and appreciate how good they are for doing work on, especially if you're doing work on the go. That's just a mini version. And as silly as it sounds, if you're a friend of me, cables, USB cables, they're always handy. HDMI cables, Ethernet cables. I know it sounds really daft. Little microphones, USB-free and USB-C cables. I know it sounds daft, but content creators really value these little silly things that most people wouldn't think of as we now call civilians, because it's amazing how you just don't think, something silly like the SD card, what we just talked about. We use them all the time, and sometimes it's just nice to have a spare one. Or maybe your friend's got one but it's not very good, and you think, oh, that's all right, I'll buy him or her a pro one, and there you go. So that's brilliant. Let's see what's going on. Clip on white light. What? Clip on ring light. Oh, sorry, yes. Sorry about that, I couldn't see that. That's a good question, Sam. I'll get straight onto that. That's a brilliant idea. This could be a present for Christmas, or it could be, yes, these are brilliant. These are absolutely brilliant. And yeah, the tripods that come in them aren't very big, but I'm pretty sure you could attach it to a large tripod if you wanted to. But these are really good if you're in a vehicle. If you just sat at a table, you could just connect it on, and obviously because you've got the adapter inside, you can put your phone on the adapter. And these ring lights are brilliant. I believe they come in different tones and stuff like that. You can adjust them, and they give a nice soft light. And for 20 odd quid, this might be the best thing for you. And that is something, yeah, I would highly recommend. I've lost the picture. I would highly recommend perhaps getting one of these if you're just filming a lot, in front of a table or in a vehicle or by a wall, and you just want something that's maybe just a bit smaller, takes up less space, and maybe just blogging in your bedroom or whatever. But I would highly recommend, yeah, something like that is a very good shout. I think they're very good lights. Right, so all right, let's see if I've missed anything. So thank you for watching. Do not go anywhere, because I'm going to do the after show in a moment where I'm going to answer as many of your questions as you want to give. So knock in those questions. If you've enjoyed today's video and got value from it, please like, subscribe, share this video with family and friends. I hope you got value from today. And and enjoy your weekend, and just think, you know, Christmas is around the corner, times are going to get better, and it's no better time to start making videos on your YouTube channels. No better time to start a channel, no better time to be creative, and just remember, solve a problem, give value, and enjoy what you're doing. So thank you again. I will see you in the after show, which will start after the little clip, and thank you again, and as always guys, you guys rock.
Want to learn more about YouTube and growing your channel? Subscribe now.
Alright, so let's just bomb off that then. We'll leave that for now. So this is the after show. Let's go straight to the important bit. So you'll be able to see yourself in that bit there. Let's just bomb off that. All right. So top work. Thank you, Perry. I appreciate it. Thank you, Sam. Hey everyone. I've just popped in to say oh hello to Fabulous. I'll just call you Fabulous. Welcome for popping in. Just briefly, if this is your first time here, I'm Dave from TVR Creators. I make weekly YouTube tips to help you build your brand. If that sounds interesting to you, subscribe now. And I've got a whole load of content on my channel of how to improve your videos, what cameras to use, how to edit, and so much more. So go and check out my channel and see what you think. So yeah, welcome to the TVR universe. If you've got any questions, knock them in the comment section here, and I will do my best to answer them. It's been awesome tonight. I've really enjoyed it. Let's just have a brief look at what you guys have been saying, as obviously I've been able to do that as well. Thank you again to Brad, Perry, Princess, Sam. Right, let's see what you've said. Been working out, Dave, pal. I didn't read that comment. I don't know, have I? I don't know. Thanks, mate. I'm trying. Yeah, I've decided to eventually I'm going to get another webcam, I believe, and I'm going to have two set up. If you've watched it new, I'm going to do it a bit like that, so you can see my setup as well. So I thought it'd be nice to mix it up a bit, so you can see more of where I'm sat. I thought that'd be quite cool. If that sounds good, give it a like. Sorry, I'm just. Thank you, Sam. I appreciate it. Thank you. God, there's loads. I feel bad. Well, I feel good. Thank you. Knowledge, hey, big thumbs up. Thank you, Princess. I'm just seeing if I've missed anything. Dave rocks, Dave. Thanks, Ferry. So I'm just reading through the. If you've got any questions, knock in the comment. I'll do my best to answer them. I'm just reading some of these here. Thank you. Oh, Course I Remember Road. I've still got it on DVD somewhere. This is my domain. There you go. If you're storing here, that's for you. That was a rubbish accent. Wow. Thank you, all you guys. Seriously, if you're still here now, thank you so much for tuning in. Sorry about the start. I don't know what happened there. I'm on a different computer. Poor excuse. But YouTube got all scared, so I didn't know if I was online or not. But all gravy now. But no, honestly, thank you so much for your support. Just by watching these videos each week just means so much. I really do mean that. You guys are the TVR universe. Just briefly then, a few brand things then for those of you that are still here. If you want to support the brand, just by doing so, watching any of my videos helps towards just the channel, the growth in general. So that means so much. Like and comment. Would the bigger lights you showed affect my DJ lighting when I'm live? Experiment. I must admit, if you had one of those big lights, you possibly might not be able to see the flashing lights as much, but you would be able to still see them going around. But I would experiment. You could have one in the background and have it like reflecting off the wall, that sort of stuff. And obviously it wouldn't look quite as disco-y as you've got it in a minute. But it depends on the look you're going for. But you might find if you had that, you could see you better maybe. But you would, yeah, I would say it would, basically probably not. You wouldn't be able to see you wouldn't be able to see the disco lights as much. But you might find that you actually like that look, but you'd still see them a little bit. I hope that's helpful. That's not really answered the question, is that? But if you get the idea. So, quick answer, probably not, but there you go. Maybe try the small light, right? Yeah, I'd probably go with a small one. It could shine on you. You could still have the discos going on the background. The small clip-on round one might be a better option for you. Yeah, that's a valid point. Good shout. Yeah, but just bear in mind, because you was in the dark, you're welcome. Just bear in mind, because you're in the dark, obviously you're going to see more of the disco lights, and the more of any light that you have, you'll see less of them. But yeah, so I hope that's answered your question. Yeah, so if you want to support the brand, check out our merch, get a t-shirt or mug, and I'm planning to design some more stuff soon, so always check that out from time to time. Thank you again for just being here and then watching the show. It means so much. I hope I brought you value, and I just want to say thank you again. Thank you. And if you've got any further questions and this is a bit later on, feel free to watch any of the content more value. More importantly, if you've got any questions, knock them in the comments below in this video, and I'll do my best to answer them as quick as possible. Thank you again. And if you want to go into more detail, go over to the Facebook group community that was started. If you're there already, awesome. I'll do that for you a second, Perry. I will do that. I will end the show doing that, okay? I will end the show doing that. Okay. Actually, if you could bear with me for 1 second, I was going to see if I've got any sunglasses, but I don't know if I've got any. Actually, stuff that. Right. Okay. So just for you, Perry, giving you value. Okay. I've got no water left, but here we go. So thank you again. If you've got any questions, knock them in the questions below. And don't forget to watch this Tuesday's video, and see you next Friday. And as always, guys, you guys rock. And this is for you, Perry. I haven't got any sunglasses. I'll just close my eyes. Finally, Random Dave has come back home. Oh dear. There you go, just for you, mate. All right. Anyway, so thank you again. Have a great weekend. Happy Diwali for those of you that are celebrating that, and have a great weekend. Get value. I look forward to see what content you watch. Check out Perry's video on Sunday. Also check out Sam's DJ sets that will be on Tuesdays, I believe, and they are about 7 o'clock. If I got that wrong, put it in the comments below. And also, I look forward to all your videos. All you that have been watching these videos, I will go watch it. Anyway, I'm going to go now. Have a great weekend. See you down the road. As always, you guys rock. Oh, sweaty.